Hello all heroes and welcome back to Invincible Guarding the Globe, and today we're going to be actually going over my thoughts of Season 3, Episodes 1 through 3 of Invincible. All the while we'll have some Cecil's Nightmares gameplay in the background, because hey, I gotta get it done, so I might as well multitask. So, if it's not already obvious, spoiler alert, we're going to be full-blown talking. I probably can't show anything, I don't dare at least, because I don't want Jeff Bezos to come and strike me down for showing a single screenshot of anything. Probably would be fine, but I'm about to Wii channel with no muscle at all from the powers that be. And as the Maulers pointed out, the only thing worse than a supervillain is a businessman. So yeah, we're just gonna keep this nice and simple and very informal. I have not taken any kind of notes, so I'm just gonna be talking off the cuff here. So yeah, we're gonna just discuss. So, episode 1 was very good, but I would say that it is probably the least of the season premieres, of the episode 1s compared to episode 1 of season 1 and episode 1 of season 2. I would say that it is, and I use this word with a massive caveat, I would say it is the worst. But it's like saying a bar of gold is a little scuffed up. It's still amazing. It was still really freaking cool. Yeah, let's to go over the beat that I can remember. Like I said, this is very off the cuff. Invincible going on his little training regiment. That was kind of fun to watch. Oh, now? Really? Okay, back to it. As I was saying, Mark and Rex have to deal with a Declaration of Independence thief, for a pair of them. I remember nothing about them, but honestly, if that had been Nicolas Cage, I would have bust out laughing. I feel like that would have been really funny. But anyways, those nobodies are just puny humans, which greatly get eclipsed by the fact that Multipaw comes in with a serious vendetta against Rexplode for the thought to be dead Duplicate. Multipole is then kind of told to stand down because Duplicate shows up with the Immortal, very much alive and apparently engaged. So good for them. Hence the Valentine's Day stuff. And then the big bad of the first episode is Doc Seismic, who has apparently really leveled up his game and has tapped into the fact that apparently Earth just has a freaking massive kaiju problem, because they have got all kinds of creepy crawlies underground that just solely exist to beat the snot out of anything that lives. So Doc Seismic really making a mess, and an interesting choice for episode 1. But you see, here's the thing with episode 1. Episode 1 walked so that episode 2 could run, and we'll talk about that in a second. But so they beat Doc Seismic with the help of Darkwing 2 and the Reanimen. Invincible is peeved that these particular individuals and assets are not locked up, and goes to confront Cecil, finding out that he has got a whole lot more. And then to cap off the episode, we got a brief little snippet of Alan and Omni-Man chilling in prison. It's like the best character of the whole show paired with the second best character of the whole show. I hope they don't make us wait too long for that, because it is going to eat me alive. I want to see them team up and wreck some crap real friggin' bad. So that is kind of a coming soon situation. So yeah, like I said, episode 1, the worst episode 1, with a massive caveat. It's like seriously, it's like you still got the bronze, you're still on the podium. It was still really freaking good. It's like a gold bar with some scuff marks. It's still a gold bar. So, you know, let me be very clear here. And again, like I said, episode 1 walked so that episode 2 could run. We have Invincible clashing with Cecil in a big way. He tears through Reanimen like paper, but he has a whole lot more Reanimen, and a rather nasty little noisemaker in Invincible's head that pretty much completely shuts him down. with Cecil claiming that that's for his protection and for the protection of the world if Invincible went off the rails. We'll talk about the ethics of that one in a second. But Invincible, being the quick thinker he is, gets out of there and goes to the Guardians. Definitely knowing at the very least that Robot can get the thing out of his head. And that if he's going to have any allies, it would be the literal main heroes of the planet. They might have the moral compass to stand with him. Cecil kind of panics and demands that the Guardians stand down while he apprehends Invincible. They decide they're not having it. They decide that they would rather not have their friend beaten to death by robotic corpses. Which, fair enough. They destroy a metric ton of Reanimen, who just keep spawning in like an endless wave. And they eventually do free Invincible from the effects of Cecil's little kill switch. Invincible then decides that he's had enough of Cecil, understandably so. Cecil has a brief moment of defiance that is quickly shut up by Invincible threatening to kill him, which is it's hilarious too, because Invincible or Cecil just got finished saying, like, don't you ever threaten me again. Invincible proceeds to grab him by the throat and threaten him again, just showing how little Cecil can do against him. Yeah. They had a massive break, and that break ripples into the Guardians fracturing real bad. The only Guardians left is the Immortal, Duplicate, Shapesmith, Black Samson, and then the newest member, Darkwing 2. And then that episode, I think that's like the main gist of that episode is the fallout of that. All through this, Mark does eventually get a burgeoning relationship with Adam Eve. They've been coded to be together since day freaking 1, or I suppose technically day 2. He fumbles it hard in the beginning, but he does eventually get there, and they finally, inevitably, get together. Now, here's the thing. And I guess I should talk about, too, finally got some backstory with Cecil, which was absolutely fascinating. Loved that. Loved getting backstory of Cecil, how his face is all scarred up. How, funny enough, the scars on his face are the only part of him that's actually original skin, funny enough. Which is kind of a neat little detail. And before he was the director of the GDA, Cecil was kind of an idealist, where he's like, these villains must be punished. They must be in jail and should not be used. And now he's the one who is using villains for his purposes. So to talk about that, just because, it's fun to talk about that kind of stuff, I kind of get the usage of Darkwing 2 and the Reanimen. I mean, tools in the toolbox, I guess. I get that. Especially considering that there are some noteworthy threats, and to be fair, they did just beat Seismic, who was going to pretty much unequivocally win there for a second. So, I mean, yeah, fair enough on that one. Tools in the toolbox must not be wasted. Now, putting the thing in Invincible's head, not only was that mega uncool, but a bad draft pick. Because basically, Cecil looked at freaking Invincible, the only Viltrumite they have on deck, and cyborg corpses, and said, no, I'd rather have the cyborg corpses. Bad draft pick. Really bad draft pick, because not only did he pick off Invincible, and now that's not someone who's going to work with him, but he's also lost more than half of his Guardians of the Globe, which matters in the 3rd episode, because holy crap, they got the floor mopped with him. So, like I said, bad draft pick on that one. I mean, knowing what we know, that there's other Invincibles that have just totally nuked the world, I mean, fair enough, but, man, bad tactics on Cecil's part. He tried to have his cake and eat it, too, and it just did not work out for him at all. Now then, episode 3 is very much, Invincible and Oliver focused. Oliver being the other Omni-Man kiddo who has grown up very fast and gotten his powers just as fast. He is already stupid strong, can fly, all that jazz, and he is happy about it too. Interestingly enough, that episode starts with kind of a neat little look at Tether Tyrant and Magmaniac as just kind of a couple trying to get through life, and how it's like, hey, we wouldn't be bad if we had any other choice, which is like interesting. I mean, that was a cool little cool little intro, an extended intro too, with just no like audible dialogue, just like them existing, and it was kind of a neat little detail. But they get slammed and jammed by Invincible and Oliver. Invincible trying to tell Oliver to just watch and train, but Oliver wants to get into the fight in a serious way. He wants to be in it. And that all culminates in a fight with the Mauler twins. Now, again, the Guardians of the Globe have been seriously nerfed. It's the Immortal, Darkwing 2, Black Samson, Duplicate, and Shapesmith. They get the crap kicked out of them by the Maulers, which, I mean, I know the Maulers are really smart and really tough, but also the series literally started with the Guardians making mincemeat of the Maulers. Like, they never stood a chance. Now the Maulers had an easy win, and that's just sad. That is just sad. Meanwhile, Invincible comes and starts dealing with them, taking care of business. Electricity seems to work very well on Invincible, though, which makes it rough for him, but he goes up to stop the rocket. Oliver, on the other hand, decides to take matters into his own hands and actually just destroy both of the Maulers. Now, we've seen one Mauler die pretty regularly. We've never seen two. So the question is, are the Maulers out for the count? If there's anybody who could have a backup clone and kind of like Duplicate, if there's anybody who would do that, it's the Maulers. I have very little doubt that they have a way to go on, but our heroes don't know that, and as far as they're concerned, Oliver just destroyed them in an extremely bloody show of strength. Even the Immortals kind of scarred over there like, what the heck did I just witness? And it's moments like that that really make you wonder if Cecil was onto something, shutting down Invincible, but I digress. Yeah, so Oliver's got a little bit of a murdery streak, even going as far as to call himself Kid Omni-Man. Yeah, I'm sure that won't be a problem later on. I'm sure it's fine. It's probably fine. It's probably fine. So very excited to see where that storyline goes. And then to finish up, it's assuming that was the voice. I'm pretty sure it was. It looks like Angstrom Levy is alive and well. He's got a severe case of too angry to die-itis, and he is watching. Now, interestingly enough, he's not attacking yet. He just seems to be watching from a distance for now. What that means, who knows? But whatever he's gonna do, it's probably not gonna be him just going after Invincible and his family again. He tried that already. Didn't go so well for him. The second attempt, whatever he's gonna do, it's probably gonna be so much worse, it's not even funny. So yeah, and that's kind of where we're at. The things we're expecting, of course, from the rest of Season 3. Definitely more of the dynamic between Invincible, who has a costume change, and Oliver, who has got a bit of a murdery streak. And then, of course, waiting on the inevitable breakout of Alan and Omni-Man. I want to see it. I want to see it real bad. So we definitely have that to look forward to as well. So, yeah, that pretty much covers it in a nutshell. As far as how this is going to relate to the game, there were a lot of new characters shown in the game. Of course, or in the show, lots of heroes in the Doc Seismic battle, as well as some villains in the form of Duplicate. There's some kind of order leader trying to put the screws on Titan. There's a lot of stuff going on in the world. that I am very much looking forward to seeing how that plays out, not only in the show, but in the game as well. So, yeah, that's pretty much all we've got in a nutshell. I'm sure there's some plot points that I've forgotten. I would not doubt it one bit. But I'm only one guy here, man, and I've been busy. I've been a busy boy. But we will leave it at that. Let me know down in the comments below how you've been enjoying. Like I said, strong start, and like I said, it sounded like I was dunking on episode 1. Episode 1 was fantastic, and episode 1 walked so that episode 2 could run. Episode 2 is probably the best episode 2 we've had in all of Invincible, so perfectly balanced as all things should be. But yeah, so let me know down in the comments below. Of course, this week we'll have another episode until they reach the usual 8-episode season length. Very exciting stuff. We're gonna have some wild times ahead, I am sure. And, yeah, we will leave it at that. Let me know what you think down in the comments below, and we shall see you next time. Have a good one.